Today, I'm going to show you guys how to implement FSRM, which is a File Server Resource Manager. So, to do this configuration, I have got a domain controller and I have got a Windows 10 machine as well. So, I'm going to use my domain controller as the FSRM, and I'm going to configure this FSRM role on my Windows domain controller, and then I'm going to test this one through the client computer, which is on Windows 10. So first of all, what is FSRM? This File Server Resource Manager, it is a feature set in the files and storage services under server roles on Windows Server. So this helps the administrators or the system administrators to classify and manage storage data in the file servers. As you all know that people will start, if you have got enough space, people will start putting up big files and like unwanted files on the servers, right? On the storage servers. So this is one of the best options for you to control people not to have many files and big files, and also we can screen what they can have or what they put in the file server, and we can then monitor and we can send them alerts, and we copied an exe file, they have copied a bat file, so that we can get the notification. Also at the end of it we can get a report as well. So this feature is one of the important feature for large enterprises to manage your storage system or your file server. So let's further do anything, let's go and install the services and see how it works. For me to install this one, I'll have to go to app remove features, and then I'll go to the roles and I'll go to file server. I'll go here in the file and storage services. I'm going to install File Server Resource Manager. So click there, click add, next, and then let's install. So this will take time, so this is going to just install. While it's been installing, let's configure, or let me check and confirm the configurations on the system. So let's see the IP address of this machine. So 32.10. Let me log into this computer and see whether I can reach the domain controller from here later on to do the testing. So it's just logging in. Let's go back again, minimize, and see the role is being configured. So install. So what we have to do is, let me see this. It's still loading. It's all right. Let's leave that. Yep, it's there. And let's confirm this can also reach the domain controller. CMD IP config. Yeah, it should be. Let me see whether I can access some shared folder from here. Yep, so it's working cool. Right. Let's go back to the domain controller. Since we have installed the services, I'm going to just configure. So go to Tools and File Server Resource Manager. Right. As I said, this has got option to configure quotas. Which is like it can tell you like what's the maximum file that you can copy in this folder, sort of that options. And also you can do the file screening, right? So you can do file screening, and also you can generate reports. So these are interesting ones. So let's start with the quota configuration. So to do that, I'm going to go quota. There are two options here. You can see on the top it says quotas, and then it says quota template. So the reason why we have two here, so the quota template is like a basic sort of a template that's been configured for you to just clone and use it. But you have to create a folder. You have to say where you want to go and apply. So that's where we have the quotas. So we can create the template here, and then we can attach the template to that specific folder that we create inside the quota, right? So you can see here, there's an object to create quota. So let's go and first create a template. So we'll pick something which is not available here. So this is monitor, and here we have sort of like application. So this is going to apply to that, right? So the soft one means it will let you still have the files, or it will let you to have bigger files than your configuration, but it will just monitor. But if you apply the hard quota type, it's not going to let you to do it. So let's start with the hard quota type. So I'm going to just copy and create a template here. So let's create a template. I'm just copying from 10 GB template, but I'm going to create maybe for 500 GB, 500 MB, right? Let's say 500 MB limit, and the limit is 500, not 5,000, 500 MB. I'm going to make it as a hard quota, right? And you can add the threshold notification. So you can say threshold notification is 85%. When they reach 85%, you will reach or you will get a notification. So we can enable the notifications here. But if you want to receive email notification, you must have your email server configured to send these notifications, right? Which is SM, simple mail transfer protocol, SMTP, should be enabled, right? So I'm just not going to do further changes. I'm just going to make just the notification and event log. Let's create and let's OK. So we have just created a quota here, right? Let's confirm quota is 500 hard quota. It's all good. 500 MB, all good. Right. Okay, so cancel. Right. Let's create the shared folder here. So let's go here. I have got a shared folder here already on my system. If you see that in my C drive, I've got a shared folder here. So I'm going to use this shared folder to create the quotas. So I'm going to copy the path. You don't really need to copy the path because it doesn't really ask you to copy the path, but let's go back here and browse, C drive shared folder, and the limit that I'm going to apply here is hard, not 500 MB limit, right? So there's another 500 MB, but this is for the monitors. This is a soft type, so this is the hard type. Click there, create. Right, now we have created the quota, and the quota is going to monitor and make sure that you are not going to add anything more than 500 MB file. So let's go to the client computer, try and access the shared folder. That we have a shared folder here on this IP address. This is my shared folder, and I have a file here, autopsy. Autopsy is sort of it is a digital forensic software, autopsy. So I'm just going to copy the autopsy from my desktop into that shared folder, and you can see this is 1.424 GB, so it should not go there. You should not be able to copy this file into that folder. Let's try it. There you go. You got a warning message or the error message. It says that you cannot copy this file. This is not enough space on shared data. 1.24 GB is needed to copy this file, but you can't. The reason, I have enough space on this computer, right? Because I'm just trying to copy into the shared folder. You can see that I've got 40 to 45 GB, but I have configured the maximum that files that I can have on this shared folder is only 500 MB. So you cannot have anything more than 500 MB in this file. So this is how we configure limitations on the file shared folder, right? So this is one task that we can do, or one features that we have in file server resource manager. So we can create multiple different options as well. We can create some other options as well, right? So let's go and create a file screen and see how does the file screen works. So to create the file screen, right, I'm back here in the file screen, and I'm going to create a new file screen, right? So let's write, so if you see here, file screens, right, let's create a new file screen. All right, so we can provide a path where you want to apply the file screen to, or for which path you're going to create the file screen. I need to make sure that I'm going to do it for my the file that I have created. In my file screen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say how do you want to configure the file screening property here. So we have options here: block audio video files, block executable files, image files, emails files, and all these options are there. So I'm going to say I'm going to block the executable file, right? So you can see that says that we are creating an executable file blocking, right? So the file block is being created. What we do, we will test this files blocking. So I'll go back to here, right? This is already a big file, so I don't want to copy this file. Let's find a small file from this computer. I can see a Discord software. That's a small file. I'm going to first transfer to my local computer. Right, so that's there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my shared data and I'm going to transfer this executable file. Make sure that there's an executable. It's an executable. Let's put that. Right, you need permission to perform this action. It's not just because the file size is bigger than 500 MB. This is just because I have configured the screening option. So that means it's going to look for the file extension and say, "That's hold on, this is an executable file and you cannot put these files in here." So that's called file screening on the file server manager. Right. The last one that I'm going to go show you guys is how to create or how to generate a report. So here we have the storage report manager, right? So you can just right click, generate reports now, right? So this will tell you the options, what types of reports we can get. So we can create duplicate file reports, so it can tell you whether you have got duplicate files, and it can create file screening reports because I've just configured screening, so I'm going to enable file screening report, right? So just say file screening report and then go to the scope and tell you you have to say then what sort of a screening where you want to get this screening report from. So let's add the file that I wanted to get the screening report from my shared data, right? So you can of course go back and do further configurations, right? If you go to properties, you can do further configurations, but I'll show you that in a different video. So click OK, and now wait for response to be generated and then display. Right, there you go. You can see now it tells you policy, right, the folder report, right? We can find this information, right? Sorry, that's just the options, but this is the report file here, right? Right, so that's pretty much what we create. But if you want to do more screening, so you can see you can create groups, different file types, and we can just create as many as new templates, and you can specify what you want to do with this, right? So we have options here, right? So you can create many screening options, right? File screen, except so we can say you just make sure that you can keep files other than this sort of, like rather you just block them, you can say accept these files, right? So we can do that as well. So for example, if you click email and create, we can specify it here, right? So that's sort of an interesting part of file server resource manager, right? All right, so hope this would be an interesting, or this would have been an interesting video. If you like, do subscribe to my channel, YouTube channel, FaceItNet. I'll make sure I'll post some more videos. Thanks for watching.